potential at-large resume. Let's say they lose in the Conference USA tournament, but they get at-large consideration. Now you have a bid thief out of Conference USA. Beautiful feed by Milton to Moore. That's the fun of the bubble talk and everything going forward as we get closer to Selection Sunday. Freshman Elijah Hughes, Lenny.
I was going to say, Ben Ameligu on both ends of the floor. So important right now for SMU with Sterling Brown in foul trouble and on the bench.
You know, Ben Ameligu won Coast Sixth Man of the Year in this league. He's had 3 double-figure scoring games all season. It is not about the offensive production for Ameligu. It is about all the little things that he does.
Absolutely.
Shake Milton with the finger roll home.
Can you talk about a young man whose offense has matured greatly? Last year, primarily a jump shooter. Here, putting it on the floor on that drive, you see the length, the use of that offhand. I mean, he has improved tremendously. You take a look at his numbers, stepping into the floor to be one of those dominant players in this conference.
He had a very good freshman year, but he has really turned it on as a sophomore. And remember who he basically had to replace. A couple of classic contests earlier this year. Milton got to the rim and pitched it out for Deshaun McDowell. Here's Ameligu. When you get offense from Ben Ameligu, who averages just 4.5 per game, that's a major bonus for Tim Jankovic.
But let's remember now, Ben Ameligu averaged a little over 10 points a game for Virginia Tech his freshman year before transferring here. So he knows how to put the ball in the basket. He just understands his role on this team coming off the bench. You got to do what you need to have done.
Barkley with a very difficult shot, slapped back in.
Right now with Ben Moore getting a breather. You know, no one really going to the glass, offensive or defensively.
Ameligu finding Foster with a pretty move. That's the 6th SMU dunk already.
And you talked about what defines SMU. That last play essentially defines this team.
Shake Milton on the run out. Defense to offense to put SMU up by its largest lead of 13.
Well, again, we talk about what defines this team. Ball penetration and finding the open man. Just pretty basketball.
This is Barkley against McDowell.
Good help right there by Ben Moore, but even better move by Barkley. Just couldn't put it down, but that spin out of the double team, out of the help on the baseline was nice.
He was a little late recovering. Foster got it outside for Ameligu, doing some damage off the bench for SMU. They've made 6, miss the front end. Ojale on the cut against Riak, able to muscle it home, and Shemi Ojale's got 9 in the first.
And as I said, we've seen Shemi Ojale do a lot of things. We've seen him use touch to tickle that twine, and we've seen him use strength to rip the rim.
This is White, and White knocks down a smooth-looking 3, his second. All-time leader in games played, games started, 2nd in 3-pointers made, and 4th all-time at ECU in scoring. Caleb White, the senior. He's got the tough assignment of guarding Shake Milton, who feeds Ojale. Shemi Ojale to the rim into double figures.
Ojale once again gets a path to the basket. Here's that slip screen earlier. Take a look right here. Defender here, defender here. No one comes together, and Ojale just slips right through. And no help really to speak of. And again, using that strength, that upper body strength to get to the rim. Yeah, that guy's got a lot of tools.
Yep.
Establish position early. You got to start from the opening tip.
Dude is 235 pounds in a lean 6'7" frame. 3rd consecutive year that SMU has had the American Conference Player of the Year. 2 in a row for Nick Moore, and now Shemi this year. Our first team. But 2 days a week, he goes to the homeless shelter near the campus and helps out at the homeless shelter in whatever capacity they need. That's the type of young man that Semi Ojeleye is. His family originally from Nigeria. He was raised in Ottawa, Kansas. There is the first points for Kentrell Barkley today.
And you just love a guy like that. It's demonstrating leadership.
And certainly, when you think about youth, I think they're going to be growing pains, but in the future, those younger guys get older. And certainly, potential for this league to even get that much more competitive as Jeremy Shepard hits a three.
And I'm glad you made that point, team.
And I would say you see it very consistently from SMU. Shepard, long three, knocks it down. The second of the half. He's got all 6 seconds for this East Carolina team that dropped a game by 40 in Dallas. Dropped a game by 31 in Greenville against SMU.
You see the high screen, particularly on Kentrell Barkley. SMU not afraid to switch. Although that time Barkley on a straight drive had some daylight and some luck.
Using the very top part of the window to get down to. Traveling violation on Foster. And Alfred Smith makes sure that Barkley and Brown don't get into any extracurriculars.
Well, Kentrell Barkley seemed to be doing all the barking on that particular one. I'm not sure if that's frustration or if Sterling Brown got the best of him somewhere else and that was his way to retaliate.
And Tim Jankovic takes Brown out. Had a quick word for him, and now Melagu checks in for SMU. Barkley can't connect. SMU on the push. Couple of turnovers, no field goals in the early part of this half.
Such a good pass. That is
wow.
That is such a difficult pass. And as Coach said, the rebounding, you know, 2 of the better rebounding teams, UCF, the tallest team, and Memphis, a pretty good rebounding team with the Lawson brothers.
Barkley has 8 points here in the second half. He beats the buzzer there. That game will feature the top 3 rebounders in the league. Dedrick Lawson leads the conference. Taco Fall is second, and then KJ Lawson is third in the league in rebounding. You know, that was a solid backdoor. I was thinking about you and Mike Patrick last year. We talked about the 4-5 game.
Right.
Cincinnati-UConn was the 4-5 game in the quarters last year, my friend. That was a marathon effort by you two sitting courtside in Orlando for that 4 overtime classic.
Well, just in case I didn't make any dinner reservations, I got no flights going. I can be here all night.
All right, brother. Barkley again. And it's rebounded by Foster. This is as close as East Carolina has been since trailing by 24, their largest deficit of this game. Semi Ojeleye already with 20 in this game. Well defended by Riak, but the loose ball to Semi Ojeleye plus the foul. On a team that doesn't consider itself to have any stars, this kid is a star. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, again, it was outstanding defense. Problem is, never blocked out. After the shot was made, Ojeleye backed up a little bit, but had a lane straight to the basket. Look at him coming right at you. You know, his man Riak totally forgot about him.
Personality for these two. It's been a fun watch. You can join them on weeknights at 6 Eastern for SportsCenter on ESPN, watch ESPN, and the ESPN app. Semi Ojeleye continues to do the brunt of the damage, drawing the foul, and he'll go to the free throw line, riding a 24-point game.
And that's another way SMU beats you. We talk about the fact that they rarely foul, just 14 personal fouls per game among tops in the nation, but they're also plus 5 from the free throw line on average. They average about 14 free throws made, and opponents only 9 free throws made. So, you know, you got a 5-point advantage right there on average.
Ojeleye finishes off the three-point play. Thinking ahead a little bit, you know, I looked at East Carolina and Adam Jupiter, a fantastic graphics operator and great part of our great graphics team here at the American tournament, gave us a really good note from Ken Pom. East Carolina is on that same list of tallest teams in the country with UCF. UCF's obviously the tallest with the addition of Taco Fall. But East Carolina is one of the top 6 tallest teams in the country as well. Obviously, Andre Washington and Dang Riak have a lot to do with that. If UCF were to play SMU, if the seeds were to hold, as you see where East Carolina is on that list, I mean, it's a tough task going up against Taco Fall regardless of who you are. But watching this game with the size that East Carolina has, do you see any parallel at all, just looking ahead to a potential semifinal game?
Well, I mean, Taco Fall is extremely skilled at rim protection. Andre Washington, who was the leading shot blocker in the conference, just, you know.
We got 3 more of these to come here at the American Conference Championship presented by Frontier Communications. Big Ten going over on ESPN right now with their quarterfinals. Shake Milton with a beautiful reverse for 2.
Living up to his nickname.
I know Ben Moore gets a lot of love as a glue guy for this SMU team, and I think rightfully so because he really plays that role well. But it's almost like it's a full team of glue guys. You know, guys who just complement each other very well. Coach, it's like a professorship. Yeah, the way he coaches.
Well, obviously Larry Brown, his lineage is dominated by Dean Smith and his influence at North Carolina. So,
Ben Moore from Shake Milton. Seen that a couple of times today.
It's about sharing the ball. It's about helping on defense. It's the consummate team effort. Speaking of sharing the ball, take a look on the screen and roll. No help. Kentrell Barkley much too late to come over to help. Anyway,
that's true.
That ball was, all the play was above the rim.
You know, we're giving Tim Jankovic a lot of credit, rightfully so. But I think a lot of coaches in this league would agree over the last month and a half, the job that Michael Perry has done to get East Carolina even to this point as Barkley hits a long 3. Michael Perry has done a fabulous job for this program as well. This is a big deal for East Carolina to win games in conference tournaments, to try to keep building towards something after a couple of rocky years.
Yeah, and remember, Michael Perry didn't just burst on the scene either.
Very good point.
Outstanding player. He was a head coach at Georgia State.
Ojale with another 2, adding to his night. He's got 27.
I understand that.
Riak from the corner. He had 1 3-pointer all season. He hit one yesterday, and now he's hit another. And suddenly it's down to a 12-point game with 5 to play.
That's the last thing you want to do if you're an SMU. Let a team like East Carolina hang around. That's double dribble.
Yep, that's right.
Mental errors, lack of focus.
That's 12 turnovers for the Mustangs now. They average just 11 per game.
And see, here's where, if you're SMU, you've got to avoid that,
yep.
Of course.
Elijah.
Shooting motion.
No, I would tend to, based on that replay, I would tend to agree with you.
But the key operative phrase was based on that replay. I'm not out there split-second calls. So, I mean, you can't hang the official because of that, because that's like a bang-bang situation. But I just say I disagree with it. That's all.
Another 3. And it's down to a single-digit game. Kentrell Barkley's got 19. Ojale to answer. Left it short. Here comes Barkley. Kentrell Barkley to the rim, and a blocking foul will take us to a timeout on the floor.
Here, digging in defensively is first order of business for SMU. Are you kidding me?
Wow. Jeray Foster with a mistake as he fouls the 3-point shooter, Caleb White.
Oh, man.
And now the clock stops at 3:47, and White will go to the line for 3.
Well, Jeray Foster's had a lot to hit him right on the elbow. Inadvertent. And again, the way that Caleb White in East Carolina has been shooting the 3, you certainly want to get out and challenge, but that is a big, big mistake. Foster compounds a mistake on the baseline inbounding the ball with fouling the 3-point shooter.
Caleb White, an 81% free throw shooter, has sunk his first 2. Emeligu comes in for Foster. No one's played in more games in East Carolina history than Caleb White. He doesn't want hitting cues, react, and White.
And SMU has changed defenses, 1-3-1, half-court pressure.
And White buries a big-time three for East Carolina. It's down to a 4-point.
SMU hasn't really been tested. This is their test right here.
Ojale passing it there with another big-time bucket. Shemi Ojale with a new career
That they've had.
Sterling Brown with 16. Back up to a 7-point game with 2 minutes to play. White again. Good again. Caleb White keeping East Carolina's pulse going.
Caleb White, my goodness. And that's against defensive principles right there.
Yeah.
Defensive instincts to guard a guy that far from the basket.
They've made 6 consecutive 3-point baskets. They're 10 of 15 in the second half.
And they shoot 31% on the year. Ooh.
Oh, nearly could have been a carry there against Meligu.
Meligu kept his hand on top of that ball.
Knocked away from the backside. Shepard on the sprint. Shovels up to Barkley. Back down to a 1-possession game with 1:15 remaining. 24 for Kentrell Barkley. And an offensive foul is called on him. At least 75 meetings against top 25 teams.
And add this to the lore. SMU beat this team twice by a total of 71 points.
Shepard, difficult shot. Riak is there. Out to Barkley to tie. Left it short. Offensive rebound. Hughes to tie. Happy birthday, young man. Your team has come all the way back. 77 apiece with less than a minute to go.
Again, we talked about the 3-ball, getting East Carolina all the way back, plus the fact they have not turned the ball over since 9 minutes and 21 in this half.
Shemi Ojale with the follow to give SMU the lead. 33.7 remaining. Still 2 timeouts for East Carolina.
SMU's got to extend. They got to play the 3, which gives ECU an opportunity to drive to the basket.
Riak against Ojale. Backdoor for Barkley, and he lost the basketball. Turnover for East Carolina. Their first in over 9 minutes.
The 3, it's not a bad idea to put SMU on the line and see exactly what they can do and get a possession.
East Carolina in